Medical disclaimer. This video is for informational purposes. It does not replace the medical advice of a trained doctor. Seek medical advice before beginning any treatment plan. Hi, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Oh, my hair just flopping in the wind. Today, now we'll start with what my blood sugar actually is. And so far, it is 14.5. This is the new pump setup I have. This is a 780 pump now. And things are going to be a little bit different, but we'll get used to it. I'll do a video on it as we come up. What I want to discuss today is, there we go, did a little bit better, is I want to talk on how perfect and how in a line all your blood sugars stay for the whole day. And it's just wonderful, isn't it? Yeah, right. You do this all day. When you eat, your blood sugar goes up. When you just take insulin, you don't eat, it comes down. You exercise more than you think you're going to, it's going to come down. No one's blood sugars sit around and say, oh yes, they're 6.9, which at the beginning drove my family crazy. And, well, why don't you just always have your blood sugars at 6.9? Well, if it was that easy, I would just cure diabetes. Well, that's not what I meant. But having your blood sugars go up and down in a roller coaster effect is not the best way to live. You end up being tired. You end up not really wanting to do anything. Whereas simple, yeah, right. If anyone tells you it's simple, they have no idea what we go through. Whether your injections, the pump, it's always testing blood sugars. We have the newfangled pumps that tell us the blood sugars just right out, right there. 14. A couple of 7 minutes will be 14.5 and it'll be 14.5 at 14.50. So people really, we talked about you made your mind up that you're going to get into control and how great it's going to be. And when you try getting into control, things don't work out as well as you think. Sorry about that. Just had to check on a couple of things. Gotta get my brace on. Yeah, I've got carpal tunnel. No one's told me, but oh, yeah, that feels better. Yeah, sorry, I'm sure you just tuned in to see that, didn't you? But keeping your blood sugars on an even keel is not going to happen. There are going to be times where you go up a bit, you come down a bit. But it shouldn't be spikes and then down. And a lot of your spikes happen with, what are we going to with inappropriate bolusing. And when I say inappropriate, I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong. But what I'm talking about is giving your insulin about 10 to 15 minutes before you eat. Allowing your insulin to get caught up. But don't say, oh, well, I'm going to leave it and, we're going to do it 2 hours before I eat, and that will be even better. No, chances are you're going to head the other way. And I know from having terrible lows that once you go down, it seems a lot to bring you up. Now, if you're low blood sugar, there's the 15 rule. 15, take your blood sugar. If you're low, eat 15 grams carbs, wait 15 minutes. Sometimes, we need a little bit more. So, what are you going to do? Well, 10 to 15 minutes is a guide. If you find that you're spiking, play around with the time amount. But just give your insulin in your body some leeway, because it's going to take a moment to activate. Now, things to stop you from going high is not having all the snacks all the time. If you do have snacks, if you go to summer barbecue and you eat more potato salad and more burgers and just have fun, bolus. But I've said this time and time again. Don't let it happen on an ongoing basis. With it going up and going down, your body's going to say, hey, hold on here. I can't do this. I'm totally wiped out. And either you're going to crash, your blood sugars are going to crash, or you're going to fall asleep. Now, just another little tidbit about treating highs. If you treat a high, whether you give a needle or through the pump, always be conservative. Don't let things go too crazy. You don't want to start stacking your insulin. Oh, well, you see, my blood sugar come down, so I give more insulin. You should wait 3 hours. 3 hours will be okay. Your blood sugars is something very fickle. We talked about stress can throw them off whack. Exercise. It's hard when I went to school because we'd have sports after classes. I went to private school. During the fall, it was rugby, and you all knew. But through the other 2 terms, it was just whatever the master felt like doing that day. So it was hard to adjust the insulin. At school, I did something that I don't suggest you do. I suggest you speak to your doctor about it. But when I was on shots, I started to increase insulin, like add another shot midday. And this was back when you didn't tell your doctor anything. But you were able to go and get insulin from the drugstore. Now there's always this limits, and even like where I am now in a long-term care, you still are limited. Everyone's afraid you're gonna over inject. The pharmacist where you go, oh well, you're not entitled to that. They don't want to keep paying. A lot of people can play around with insulin. Insulin's being used. There's been stories for years where insulin has been used to kill people. Insulin is okay in correct doses for diabetics like me, and even type 2 or maybe even gestational. But giving it to someone who doesn't need it is going to cause problems. Right back. Don't be upset if you're having super highs one day, super lows. You make a correction, you end up going low. Type 1 diabetics can have lows. They say about twice a week. I'm not a doctor. Check it out with your own doctor. Being low can be just as bad as being high. Being low means you could go out for a walk and then pass out. Guess who did that? Hi, my name's Mike. I was a terrible diabetic. I can remember, I don't remember if I fell down or I sat down or... The fire department came and realized, okay, so let's finish this. This has been the weirdest video, being interrupted. But you want to make sure that you understand what makes you go high, what makes you go low. Obviously, if you eat a whole bag of chips and don't take insulin, will that make me go high? Ugh. I'm going to say it even though it's usually at the end of my videos, and that is, I am not a doctor. Let's make that pure and simple. Check everything out with your doctor. You should come up with plans for if you're high, if you're low. If you have an insulin pump, like I do, it will tell you suggested amounts for correction. Don't go crazy. Follow this, and if it's not doing correctly, speak to your doctor about doing corrections. Because diabetes is full of highs and lows. Well, but yeah.